Welcome to the Ultimate Duathlon Challenge at Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Whether you're an elite athlete, a seasoned pro, or an amateur seeking adventure, this event is for you. Experience the thrill of racing on the world-renowned Petronas Sepang International Circuit. It's not just about who's the fastest, but the excitement of racing together and forging new sportsmanship. Celebrate your achievements and the bonds you've created. Every finish is a victory. Join us at Petronas Sepang International Circuit for an unforgettable duathlon experience. Register now and be part of the excitement.
Welcome back to the Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysia Championship Series. It's a bit of a gloomy day down here at the Sepang International Circuit, but don't you worry, because what at least we can guarantee you is that we're going to have a lot of fun down here watching the round 4, the penultimate round, the final round of the Malaysia Championship Series 2024, specifically for the TP and the SP1 category. A very good afternoon to all of you folks, wherever it is you might be watching us. On our socials as well. My name is Mio Adlan, and it is a pleasure to be with you once again down here at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Yesterday we have just witnessed a thrilling race. Granted, there was a bit of a halt for the SP2 as well as the MTC category, and as mentioned again, looking at the skies, it is a bit gloomy, it is a bit cloudy, but we do expect a very exciting race happening here for those two classes, which are the TP as well as the SP1 category. And don't forget, for all of our fellow viewers, make sure you guys check out the Petronas Grand Prix, which is going to be happening later, or should I say earlier, in the month of November 1st to 3rd of November 2024. And special promotion for all of you guys out there who are Malaysian citizens. As long as you have an IC, you will be able to get a 25% discount during the Merdeka promo, which will be ending on the 20th of September. And not forgetting as well, after the Malaysia MotoGP, we will be having the Apex Duathlon 2024, the first of its kind, down here at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. For more information, make sure you guys go to sepangcircuit.com to check us out there. Now, we have a couple of very important people down here at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Hi ladies, apa khabar?
Baik.
Okay, and kepada mereka yang tak tahu sebenarnya, anda berdua ni merupakan starter untuk race di Sepang International Circuit ni, betul?
Betul.
So boleh ceritakan tak dengan penonton-penonton kita, starter ni apakah tugas you all sebenarnya?
Tugas kita orang selain pada checker flag, kita orang juga mengikut order daripada race control sendiri, and then also kita orang main lap board and pastikan track dalam keadaan selamat lah.
Okay, dan maknanya kalau you all tak ada, race memang tak boleh jalan kan, sebab you all akan pastikan race teratur dahulu sebelum dilepaskan.
Betul.
Okay. So macam you all dah berapa lama dah dekat sini dah bertugas untuk starter, untuk MCS khususnya? Berapa lama dah?
Ini dah tahun kedua.
Tahun kedua. Dan bagaimanakah pengalaman you? Tahun pertama, tahun kedua, seronok tak bersama-sama dengan Sepang International Circuit dengan MCS ni?
So far seronok. Best.
So far seronok
Yes.
Okay. Dan saya diberitahu juga yang you all ada favourite racer untuk kategori hari ini. Boleh tak you share dengan penonton? You nak siapa menang hari ini?
Untuk SP1 ni tak sure.
Okay.
Tapi dalam kategori SP2 minat Hayden Aikal lah.
Oh, okay. Dia dah menang dah semalam?
Yeah.
Okay. Untuk TP?
Untuk TP
Tak ada favourite. Tapi kita ucapkan selamat berjuang lah untuk driver-driver kita. These starters, guys, are very, very important in what they do because, again, like I said, they do their utmost to make sure that they are, doing their best to make sure that the race is being done properly and controlled very well. And as you can see down here, all of the mechanics, or should I say the staff of the races, the teams, they're all getting ready to receive all of the cars, getting into their position as well. And we can see the lovely ladies from Hankook as well, our great ladies down here. Without thank you so much, Hankook, for being such great supporters of MCS for this year and for us to actually have this relationship a much longer time in the future. So as we get ready for all the races, for all the drivers to be at the grid, let us jump back to our fellow commentators down up in the cozy room that they're in. Let's go to Nick and Jeevan, guys.
Hi Mio, how you doing? That's an absolutely fantastic run and a good look around the grid there from Mio. Yes, up in the commentary box we are now open. Nick Arnold joining me as he has been for the season. Nick, it's the last race.
Yes, and it's going to be an epic one. The TP and SP1 have served up so much of thrills and spills, so much so we are approaching this final round with both categories still open up for grabs. It's going to be a tantalizing weekend, Ajif.
That was exactly the situation that happened yesterday as well. There was it was literally down to the last lap in the case of MTC. Now that's the weather report. No surprises that there will be some rain. We're expecting it anyway, but it should be. We're hoping for just a slight drizzle around, which shouldn't really affect the amount of cars that are in touring production and sport production. But as you were saying, very, very close. Right now in touring production, I can tell you that there is a chance for 5 of the 6 drivers in that category to actually win today. I mean, it's a mathematical possibility with 30 points available. It's a doubleheader, a race for today as it was yesterday. So 30 points are available, and there's a 23-point spread between Roy Tang at the top and Lee Kum-sun as well. Now, we're going to be talking of Roy Tang. He's currently leading the championship. Let's find out what he's actually thinking. He's down on the grid with Mio.
All right, I'm now down here with the overall leader for the TP category. We got Roy Tang down here, car number 68. Roy, great place to be at the front of the pack in regards to overall, and you're down here at the front of the grid as well. 300 km, and this race is different. Previously, you only had to race for about half an hour, and as you can see as well, the weather, you don't know what to expect here. So, what are your expectations, at least, Roy?
I got no idea how will it be because the R engineering car is very fast and they have a new driver coming, which is Alai, very famous, one of the fastest driver in Malaysia. So it'll be a bit tough, but they got a bit of pit stop penalty. But let's see how it goes. But let's hope the weather stays like this. Yeah, so,
of course. And some of the manufacturers or some of the teams, they actually have 2 drivers racing. But for you, it is just a one-man show for you today, the whole 300 kilometers, right? So is that an advantage for you, the fact that you're driving alone, you're not depending on anybody else? What do you think about that?
Not exactly. It's just a challenge that I want to drive alone for the 300 km. I have partners that want to drive together, but I think it's more fun to drive alone. And there will be penalty if you add another driver as well. So let's see whether this decision is right.
All right.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you have a great race and have a safe race, and hope to see you on the podium later.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, that was Roy. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mio. He's 4 points ahead of Leon Koo right now. And 5 of the top 6 drivers from Singapore as well. So it's actually been very much a Singaporean championship.
Yeah, indeed. Roy Tang has been absolutely a model of consistency. 1 victory, 3 runner-up finishes. And such an interesting point, he says that he wants to drive alone. Well, we know that this TP and SP1 was essentially a sprint race in the sense that it was just a
Yeah.
half an hour race plus an additional lap. But now it's going to be a 2-hour and 40-minute race. And he said you have the option to have another partner with you. The whole dynamic changes if you are alone now.
Everything changes. I mean, the rise of solo drivers has been happening over the last few years in MCS, and they have successfully done it. Jonathan Z is a classic example of somebody who usually drives by himself. It really is up to the team in the end because it always helps. There are driving regulations as well as the amount of time you can actually spend in the car. We'll get back to that. Right now, we're getting back down to the grid with Fadzil Alang, who's talking to me.
All right, guys, now I'm together with Fadil Alam down here together with his partner Lee Kam Soon. Obviously, you're starting the race, Fazil, for this 300-kilometer endurance race. Again, expectations, because again, expectations are basically a normal question, but again, what do you expect from you yourself to perform here? Because again, 300 km endurance is not a short trip here.
Yeah, so I love to maximum attack, but I have to take care of the tire. So as you know, so this is our first time for TP production to run 300 kilometers. And then we don't have enough data on the tire. We can't know that. We just try to be safe and try to finish the race and then hope to go on the podium.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about MCS is that you don't have specific tires for rain, for wet and dry and whatnot. You're only given one set of tires, and it's how you manage it is very important.
Yes, definitely, how we manage it. But if fair, everybody has the same problems, so let's do it.
All right, okay, so whatever it is, we wish you the best of luck, Fazil, together with Kam Soon, and hope to see you up there on the podium later on, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
All right, have a safe race. Cheers, man. All right, guys.
Thanks a lot, Mio. And that's a very important point with which Fadzil Alang, he's very experienced racer, and he's definitely raced at touring production before. But you don't have those kind of resources that you have in an F1 team or whatever, where you can get unlimited supplies of technical, and hardware. Now, before we go any further, don't forget the biggest race of the year is coming up at the Sepang International Circuit, the Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia 2024. It's on November the 3rd. You don't want to miss it. There were like 182,000 people that turned up last year. They're expecting the same amount this year. If you're Malaysian and you have a My Card, then you can, in fact, get yourself a 25% discount right now. It's only happening for a while as well. So get onto the website, www.sepangcircuit.com. Find out more about those tickets and, of course, get your tickets as well. You can also find out about the Car Open Track Day. Your chance to get your car onto this track won't be in a grid like that you can see in the background, but it is quite the experience. And you don't usually get a chance to get on such a high-grade racing circuit with your own car. So definitely go and find out more about that at www.sepangcircuit.com. And also, this is brand new, the Apex Duathlon. Absolutely nothing to do with cars. But if you want to be part of it, and the first one as well, then log on to apexpetronas-sic.my for more information. Right, so we were talking about touring production beforehand. SP1 is also up here, and as I said, that's very, very close as well. Actually, there's probably the top 6 drivers in that class that could finish if they win, I said, but based on what happens. This is the track that everyone's going to be facing. It's the full track here up at Sepang. North and south tracks put together, 5.543 kilometers, 15 corners, and those 2 signature straights right in the middle. It's going to be, as usual, a big, big challenge for the races. Just as, it's fast in the middle, and then it kind of moves out and fans out at the end. We're pretty close now to the start. That's Leon Koo.
Leon Koo, I still remember the last race. He ended up only with 5 points. He was in pole position. But at the start, something just happened and his car stalled for a couple of seconds. And
that's all it takes.
Just wiped him out of the race.
That's literally all it takes. So a bit of a redemption run for Leon Koo.
Still very much in contention, Leon Koo. Only 4 points behind Roy Tang.
Because he's actually been pretty consistent as well. In fact, only those 2 drivers, if I'm right, have won races. Yes, they have. So that's actually in S Production 1. There's only 2 drivers that have won all the races. Top 2. And there's a little bit more of a spread in touring production. But all eyes on Roy Tang as we get to the 3-minute board. So there will be 2 pit stops, compulsory pit stops for this 300-kilometer race. And hopefully it's not going to be like yesterday where everyone was ordered to make their second pit stop pretty much immediately because they had to cut the time down.
Yeah. Well, the weather's looking good so far, so hopefully,
hopefully it
the
stays.
pit stops will be spread out. But I think we will see a much more spread out race as well because the field is much smaller compared to yesterday where we had 55 cars on grid.
Yeah, and you know, there were a lot of, in yesterday's race for MTC and SP2 V&G, there was a lot of evolving plans that had to evolve very quickly as well. They couldn't stick to the same strategy that they had at the beginning because conditions changed so quickly. There's Sochi Xiang, who is currently 6th and is actually the only driver who is out of contention. Should he even win and everybody else doesn't finish, which is highly unlikely.
But he will blow the
Good, I mean,
championship.
that is a possibility, but it's highly unlikely.
He would upset the order at the top.
That would make CNN. Okay. Daniel Uy is another Singapore driver for Black Wolf Racing. Black Wolf made quite the impact yesterday in MTC and SP2 V&G as well.
Daniel actually is within a shout of even finishing at the top. He's only 6 points behind Roy Tang, so not too far away.
That's the thing with double points on offer. A lot can change, and it's good that it's come down to the last race. Johnny Z.
This is the man who's on a redemption mode. This is the defending champion.
Yeah.
Got his first win in the last race, but he's not shown the type of consistency that he had shown.
But a very,
season.
very fast driver, and at times has actually been my MVD winner, most valuable driver winner, because he's just always attacking. Putra Adam is the man of the moment, or boy of the moment, or young man of the moment, I guess.
Definitely in the driving seat for the SP1 category, leading it by 12 points.
Has to be said, he's actually in the driving seat of pretty much every championship that is now on running. You see his name on every driver's list. He's one of the busiest people when it comes down to it. And yeah, he's always in the top 10 or top 5 in terms of point standings. So as you can see, the grid is completely cleared, which means it is time for the formation lap. And with a grid as small as this, I reckon that formation lap should be pretty easy to enforce. But race control does have the option of having another race or another formation lap. In fact, another 2 formation laps if they wanted to.
Just looking at some of the qualifying times, Leon Koo finished on top. He was the fastest with a lap time of 2:24. Roy Tang was second. The interesting thing is Jonathan Z actually finished last. He was a whopping 17 seconds behind the leader. Is that an indication to come, or was it a one-off?
You know, who knows what happened in qualifying with him, but he can either go really fast or he can either go really slow. I remember once I saw Johnny Z get in, he was in the lead, and he got into the pits and had a 7-minute 48 pit stop. And that killed it, absolutely killed his race. Well, he's unlucky at times in terms of what happens to him, but if you give him the right car, as I said, he can do it. Now, this is the grid. Leon Koo, as we said, is on pole. As they get through turn 5.
Yeah, you're right about John Z being unlucky. I remember in round 2, he was right at the finish line and his car malfunctioned. Malfunctioned and ended up Roy Tang getting a second spot.
Yeah, he just doesn't, I said he just doesn't get the brakes. I mean, if you give him the right time and opportunity in the right car, then he is possibly one of the fastest drivers on track.
Based on what we've seen in the TP category, the battle has been between Jonathan Z and also Roy Tang. It remains to be seen if they would engage in a final battle this season.
So here is the grid then. Said Leon Koo up front. Roy Tang is in second. Here comes Sun and Fatul Alang in third. Sochi Xiang Jay Tan in 4th, Daniel Uy and Jonathan Z in 6th, and that should be it. Really happy.
And in the SP1 category, of course, Putra Adam in the lead, followed by Kuze Kanto. Faris Fauzi and Calvin Wong is in 3rd. Kanurata William Chong in 4th. Baron Sim Kifli Othman, followed by Lim Yao Huang and Kairolan Wong.
And that just leaves P. Sao Fan and Timothy Thomas in 13th. And that is it for the grid.
Just 13 cars.
I know. Seems strange. Where are the other 75?
Well, we had 55
That's
yesterday,
right.
and it was quite the grid.
It was also really packed in the pit lane, I remember, especially even when the race was stopped at 27 laps.
And all the
for
drivers had to come into the media center for a briefing.
There wasn't enough space in the pit lane to actually fit all those cars. But it was executed well, it was marshaled well. And in the end, everybody got the fair enough result. And of course, we crowned champions in MTC, SP2V, and SP2G as well.
Well, if the last round was an indication of what's to unfold, then I think we are in for an exhilarating race, because the last race was won by Jonathan Z by a mere 600-second fraction. It was by far, in my books, one of the most exciting races of the season. And it has also developed that rivalry between Jonathan Z and Roy Tang.
Well, let's see if that continues.
That was because Leon Koo actually dropped off at the start. Now, if Leon Koo drives through to form, then it could be a 3-horse battle.
That's right. Leon Koo was taken out of the running very, very early on. So there are a lot of redemption stories that could happen today. And it's all going to start right around this corner. So the safety car has peeled in. And a rolling start. And the lights go green, and the 300-kilometer round 4 race for MCS 2024 is underway. Look at the amount of space these guys have to look for lines going into turn 1.
No such starting issues for Leon Koo. He's off to a great start.
Yeah, that was a brilliant, brilliant entry. Wow, that was a nice little interesting clip of the corner at the end there. That was P. Sao Fan. Well, this is going to be interesting because there's already some pressure happening at turn 5, and that's between Roy Tang and Johnny Z. Johnny Z in the yellow car, who's not going to stop. It's taken him 3 corners to start attacking somebody. He just has to pick a fight with somebody immediately. He's going to watch himself because that's Fazil just behind them. So an immediate battle halfway through lap 1, and Johnny Z does make his way into 2nd spot. But Roy Tang on the inside is not giving it up, uses that extra power. And all of this playing right into the hands of Leon Koo. That's too tight at turn 9.
Yeah, Leon Koo posting the fastest 2nd sector. So he's warmed up nicely. Jonathan Z's good start
All of them,
resulted
actually.
in that fastest 1st sector.
Well, Johnny Z is just adamant about trying to get past Roy Tang here. This is his 3rd attempt.
This is what we've been witnessing all season long.
I just hope he doesn't overcommit. I mean, that's the thing. He gets into the battle so quickly that you just wonder.
It was the same case like Putra Adam yesterday in the 1st round, where he got a bit impatient and...
Exactly, the Putra Adam move. That was what, and that ruined
Well, he looks
his
to have
race.
succeeded, Jonathan Z.
Well, he's blocked off the inside line, so he has to get it now. That's absolutely perfect in terms of blocking off. And as said, Roy Tang will get another shot now, and the straight line speed of that car might just do it. It's an interesting matchup between those two. tries again. Well, Leon Koo can happily, with a clear track ahead of him.
Yeah, that's a perfect start for Leon Koo. I think this is what he wanted, to get a head start and let the battle unfold between.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, the gap is already building up. But Johnny Z is too busy looking in his mirrors right now. Roy Tang is obviously the person he's looking out for, but keep an eye on Fadzil Alang in the blue and white. And that's also Sochi Xiang that's turned up.
Yep, Fazil Alang and Lee Kam Soon, the only Malaysian combination in the TP category this year.
It has been very regional and international. Well, Johnny Z has bought himself some time because now Roy Tang has been embroiled by Fadzil Alang, just as I said. So it's a great opportunity for Johnny Z to start pulling away as well.
Oh, there's still very much such close contention. This is what we want to see. We want to see this right up till the end.
Well, that Honda, as I said, has a little bit more power in the straight line.
And in the context of 52 laps, remaining laps, I think they would be happy with just to be in this position and keep pushing, because even that 4-second deficit to Leon Koo is not insurmountable.
Absolutely. And we did see this yesterday as well in the other 300-kilometer race, that if you've got the time to kind of really build up your buffer early on, you never know what's going to happen.
Well, Putra Adam had a 55-second lead and ended up winning it by just a whisker.
That was just the rain and the full course yellow,
Yeah.
though, really.
Happy to report that skies are still clear here. No
Yep.
any indication that it's
It
gonna
needs to be
fall.
constantly updated, it's true. So now, as you can see, Johnny Z has now pulled away a little bit into second. That's Sochi Sang, the only Mercedes in the field. It's an A50. Looking to push through, but definitely join the battle now. 8 seconds between the top 4. And 1 second between 2 to 4.
It's not much separating
Not much at
the
all.
chasing pack.
Well, Johnny Z is in an interesting situation now, because he will not be able to pull away from these lot.
Johnny Z needs a huge performance to defend his title. He needs to win it. He needs to hope that Leon Koo and his closest rival now, Roy Tang, drops off significantly.
Well, he's in a position to make sure that Roy Tang can drop off. But a 2:25.233 from Leon Koo. That's the full 2 seconds faster than anybody else on
Yeah.
track right now.
Simply because he's not challenged as well. He's
No, yeah, he can
out there
really
on his own.
focus. Defending does slow you down. There's no doubt about it. Something that Roy Tang is finding out right now.
Yeah, you're right, Jeev. A great move for Jonathan Z to just distance himself. He created that cushion, and now just leaving it to Roy Tang to battle it out with Fadzil.
Yeah, you know, just leave those problems with somebody else and then go and focus in on completely. That's what Johnny needs to do. He needs to consolidate second spot, and then if he is going to have a go at Leon Koo. But he doesn't need this situation. And you got to feel a bit for Roy Tang, because Roy Tang actually did have a good shot at second spot. About 2 laps to go. That is Fadzil on the inside.
Could lose third spot.
I think he's done it. Oh, that's he went straight across him. Now it's just a shoot-down on the straight, but I think he may have it. Johnny Z now put in 2 seconds. He did. That's wonderful driving.
Turn 14 into 15 has always been the target for drivers to make a move and get the advantage coming into that straight.
Yeah, and if you do come in at the right line onto the straight, then you can defend it exactly the way Fazalalang did.
And even if you take a wider line coming into turn 1, you can still come in back and shut off your opponent, just like how Baron Sim
That's
looked to do.
exactly it. Wow! That's all a bit much.
This is a common sight this season. Baron Sim really
Well, yeah.
unfortunate.
Baron Sim,
Skidding off, stalling.
2 or 3 of them, I mean, those 3 cars basically all picked the wrong line going into turn 1. Well, that is Kenurata. And that means that that's Faris Fauzi just behind him. So this is them. Well, that was probably a bit too ambitious on the inside. Actually, that's cutting the corner, and that's what put Baron Sim off. So that's Faris Fauzi's fault.
Yeah, Baron Sim thought he could just take out both those cars on the turn. Eventually had to brake and saw his vehicle stall for a while.
So Faris Fauzi now on the back end of Kenurata. He's not through yet, having a look on the inside.
Kenurata as well, Jeev, so far, wouldn't say he's shown his best potential this year. Currently in 6th in the SP1, and he's a whopping
he's off
close to 40 points behind.
He's off the pace
Putra
for
Adam.
sure. So it is going to be tough for him, but you know, I reckon he's just there. He's just there to race. I think he's had some good results in the last few years for sure.
Yeah, he's someone who's seen and done it all, and he's just out there to be happy racing. And
yeah, there's a lot of races like that, professional or amateur, that are just in it to get in the car and get onto the racetrack. Now he's again doing a masterclass of defending. The entire lap that we just watched, Faris Fauzi has not had a look in, not even a tiny look, because that racing line has been guarded completely. Again, as they come into turn 1, Faris Fauzi is not going to have a look in. That is the perfect line through. Nothing you can do about it. So back up with Roy Tang, Fadzalalang, who's got past him, and Sochi Sang at the back.
finally a glimpse of our leader,
who is having a nice Sunday drive.
Well, to be fair, I think Jonathan Z has put enough pressure because Leonco has not extended that 7
He has,
second
that's
advantage.
true, and there is still the fact that he has to make a driving change, and Johnny Z doesn't.
Yeah, indeed.
Which means it gives him a lot more options in terms of the pit windows. All he has to do is keep running and keep running at this pace.
Well, if this stays the same, then Leonco would be crowned TP champion.
Yeah, start to finish, if he did it. Right now, as I said, he's lapping a second faster than this Scuba 17 car. So you can expect that lead to get bigger every single lap. Johnny Z sitting low in the car. Well, this is Yao and Baron Sim, who was, of course, involved in that spin out in turn 1.
Just looking at lap times, yeah, Leon Clue has so far set the fastest pace. And there's a 6-second difference between the fastest lap and Piece of Fun,
Yeah.
who clocked a 2:31.
Which is actually what I was expecting. I was expecting 2:31s, but I mean, I guess it's dry enough that the top 6 cars have actually broken 2:30 already. Kenurata again. No look in. you will not look in. You will not get a look into turn 15. You'd have to do something very special or hit that car. He just knows how to keep that line. And if you see some of the other cars coming in behind them, those are the wider lines. Baron Sim is now closing in. Ken drifting over to the right. So just shutting the track down again.
He's most comfortable when he's in this position.
Absolutely.
Defending with a little bit of cushion, knowing that his closest rival is not going to attack him at any given chance.
Hi, how are you doing? Good to see everybody out in force.
And they are all in great spirits simply because of the weather. I would say the weather has been the #1 denominator.
I think it's also, you know, the Malaysian Championship Series runs for about 7 months of the year. It takes a lot of thinking when you're in the last race now and, you know, you're putting in a good performance. Oh, that's a nice move on the inside by Roy Tang. He should have that. Oh, that was close.
Fazil thought about it, but then...
No, he shut him down again. Fazil shut him down on the outside.
Managed to regain that lead.
Well, that's... I mean, they've exchanged places now at least 4 or 5 times. But remember, he was doing this, Roy Tang, with Johnny Z.
Yeah.
So his hands are tied right now.
It's great to see these 22 Pro Shop team really, you know, mixing it up amongst the best. Because we really haven't seen much of them this season.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of teams have been plagued with various problems throughout the 4 rounds. And of course, there was the universal problem of not having race 2 in round 3 because of the weather. Now, that's a more interesting line there into turn 15. Sochi Sang is now closing up, and Roy Tang is slowly but surely losing ground to everyone.
Fazil Alang has done well for himself to just keep that cushion after regaining that advantage over...
Yeah. Now, Sochi Sang is really all over Roy Tang now. So in the first 7 laps, Roy Tang has lost 3 positions. 1, 2, and about to lose 3.
Yeah, and it goes back to the point he made earlier when Mio spoke to him about being the single driver and seeing this all the way through. It's pretty much mind games with him and himself, of course with his team as well. But when he comes in for pit, he will get some advice on how to navigate this situation. Not the best situation for him out there at this point, but not the worst either.
No, it's a good setup. Right now, I think of the 13 drivers, one, we've got to be happy at the fact that they're all still on track.
Yeah, that's key.
Baron Sim almost broke that stat, but they are all still out there. And saying that,
just as we speak,
that's Ken Urata. And that's Ken Urata going backwards.
Yeah, this is not a planned pit.
Something's wrong with that car. His last lap was a 2:49. That's 20 seconds off the pace. Yep, that could be it. Well, that's one way to get past Ken Urata. You can wait for his car to break down.
We were singing his praises not too long ago, but as we spoke, you know, this is just the dynamics of the touring car.
Oh, looks like his wheel rim was completely smashed up somehow. Probably from all that defending, so he is going to get out on track again, but he's got to have a lot of work to do.
You think you're in cruise control at one point, and the next you find yourself in pit, and all that momentum is lost, and you just got to go back out there and try and regain some of that form.
I think there was probably an incident. I mean, he was defending so close that it must have touched that wheel. That's Faris Fauzi, that's Baron Sim. So this is 9th and 10th overall, coming to turn 15.
Baron Sim would really want to try and finish the season on a flourish. He's been one of the more experienced drivers that have been plagued with several issues on track.
Well, he will be switching with Keithley Othman. We just saw Keithley in the pits. Has a look on the outside, inside, pick a lane. In the end, has to settle back.
Really well done to start him off, Faris Fauzi.
Yeah, that was, he had to look left and right, and you might have to do the same thing again here. Yeah, Baron Sim seems to be a tricky situation to handle. But Faris so far is managing to hold his own.
Yeah, Baron Sim, to his credit, has always given the best that he's got every time he's on track. He's proven to be a tough customer.
So he's one of the fastest drivers up at Sepang. I put him up there with the likes of Mark Darwin, who we did see in action yesterday, but Mark Darwin has not been in touring production. That's very close. No, I'm gonna have to check the times now, because I think Baron Sim's going a lot faster. A full second faster, in fact. So he's going to go through. He's not just knocking on the door. He's going to kick that door in soon. I mean, if you've got if you're lapping a full second faster, then there you go. Oh, it had to happen. It absolutely had to happen. Farah is very lucky there. Very, very lucky.
Baron was always pushing as close as he can to the rear of Faris. Did not want to leave any gaps.
Well, he's caught in the slipstream there, so he's getting a little bit of a drag when he's right behind him, and then coming out into the clear air. That's when you really got to time it. But at this point, as I said, that car is going faster, so bad braking from Faris. And you got a little bit of a kiss.
Perhaps a strategy by Faris as well, just to try and halt the momentum of Baron Sim.
He might have done that, actually. Well, there's another slight touch, but it all depends on this lap.
Oh, great turn there by Faris Fauzi. A little bit wide and Baron would have been in.
It worked. Basically, Baron Sim is now lapping at the same time as far as Fauzi, which is 2:33. So maybe it was. I mean, it would be a very strange strategy if your strategy included braking your car.
Because we can see that Baron is very, he takes a lot of risks at the corner. He does not seem to brake as much. He wants to use whatever small gaps he could find to try and get the inside line, just like that.
Yeah, really late braking all the time.
And so Faris has had to really try and slow the momentum, especially in the turns.
If he can do that, then that's exactly it. But again, I just think Baron is now speeding up a little. This is going to be a big opportunity for him if he can cut in on the inside, which he does, and he is completely through. Now you cut off on the left. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, it seemed like Faris just allowed him to go past and to try and attack him now.
I think that's what he was expecting to do, but I mean, that was just a textbook move. So carries all that speed downhill, comes in, gets half the car length there. Then when he comes
how
through,
slowly Faris was going there. He really put the brakes on that.
I think between both of them, it was the difference in braking that led to that. But now Fares is going to have a go himself. He's certainly not giving up without a fight.
Well, persistence paid off for Baron.
Now, is Baron going to come in on the middle line? I think he might do. Yes, he is. So that should be enough to keep him ahead. Well, while this is happening, Leon Koo's now 14 seconds ahead of Johnny Z.
That's immense. He was just 7 seconds ahead a couple of minutes ago.
14 seconds in 10 laps.
That's because he's also been lapping the fastest.
Yeah, he's just been adding on a second, 2 seconds every time. 2:27 he's on now, which is still faster than everybody else. Nobody's hit 2:27 yet.
So it goes to show when you're out there on your own, it's just so much easier to improve on your lap times.
Isolated drive, yeah. You've got nothing to worry about except the racing line and the track. Under no pressure. So you're not putting any extra stress onto the car or the engine. There is Johnny Z. So he will have a little look in his mirror to see how far away he is, but that still gives him a perfect line through here.
Even Johnny Z has a 7-second advantage over...
Consolidated second spot, yeah. So that's going to really benefit him when it comes to pit windows.
Well, it's not over by a long shot. I can tell you that based on what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of thrills and spills.
0.04 of a second between the top two yesterday on the last lap.
There's been an incident in turn 1 between cars number 10 and 6.
Oh yeah, that was Fares Fawzi.
That was the earlier incident.
So
yes.
that was the final determination as Sochi Xiang approaches Roy Tang.
And So Chi Xiang has also been given a 30-second
Oh
penalty.
no.
Yeah, he's been given a 30-second penalty. Time-added penalty. So that's going to drop him further down that TP category.
Well, I mean, that's usually added at the end of the race, but yeah, 30 seconds extra is never going to help. So into turn 5, things spreading out a little bit now. Well, that should be Daniel Uy, if I'm right. Yes, it is. So I wonder if Black Wolf are going to pull themselves into that fight between Roy and Chi.
And we got the pit window coming up as well in the next lap or so.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I said yesterday, the pit window, we saw so many cars come in immediately. But who comes in soon and first, especially within the top 5 here, that's going to be very, very interesting. That's how close Sochi Sang is to taking 4th spot. And as I said, Black Wolf is slowly but surely trying to join that fight.
Yeah, Black Wolf currently 6th.
That's
in
Putraram.
This is a common sight. Putraram leading the race in his category.
Now, in his class, as I said, that happens a lot and in a lot of different championships as well. Driving a very famous car. That car has done a lot over the last 5-6 years of MCS. It's not uncommon to see these cars change owners and drivers. Oh, that is oh, he tried it on the inside.
Both cars.
But both cars hit, and in the end, Roy Tang, who's had an absolute nightmare today, started off in 2nd, has dropped a place pretty much every 2 or 3 laps, and is now stopped at the apex of turn 15 through no fault of his own. That looked like it was not his fault, but this might just be a yellow flag.
Seems like an issue because car's not moving at all. And finally it is.
I think he had to wait for his bide his time. Now he didn't get a push and he wasn't helped, so that actually is perfectly fine. But that fight has gone now, as you can see. Sochi Sang on the inside and should have stayed on the inside. That is So's fault. Drifted out as soon as he came in on the inside, but as soon as he drifted out, that was unfair on Roy Tang, to be honest.
It's got to be a huge blow for Roy Tang, who is our class leader.
Well, he's a championship leader, yeah. I mean, his chances of the title now are slowly but surely getting knocked out. He's a minute back from Leon Koo. So now you're looking into a situation of where this pit window really has to work for you. So she's saying, well, you know, the ST1 Racing team made such an impact with this Mercedes A50 when they first turned up. But I'm sorry, if you get on the inside lane, you stay on the inside lane. You do not cross through to the outside lane and, you know, hit other cars. Because you know that Mercedes can keep that line. I have no idea why he would have drifted off. Still got himself into 4th spot. Baron Sim, meanwhile, is again not surprisingly getting a drive-through penalty there.
But Sim's done well to keep his nose in front.
He has. He's done really well. But I reckon that I said if you do have that natural braking ability that is better than Fadzil. Fadzil's being a little bit too cautious on the brakes right now. Then it should be a lot easier to stay ahead. Fadzil's got to do something risky that he doesn't usually do, which is throw himself into a corner and resist the urge to brake.
Yeah, Baron strikes me more as an attacking driver.
Oh, he's fully, absolutely fully attacking based. Well, here we go again. This was
the incident that led to the drive-through penalty.
Well, that is, I said, that's cutting the corner. That's not...
So that was Faris's fault for, like you mentioned, not following that line. And
yeah.
So we can expect to see a similar penalty for So Chi Siang if
we should.
If we're going by the books.
Well, yeah, if we're going by the books, we should. That's Baron Sim going very slowly. Like, very slowly. And he's not in the pit lane. Now, this is Faris Fauzi coming into the pit.
Oh, that could be a turning point.
Oh, no, this is the drive-through penalty. So he's now, his penalty, his punishment is the fact that he has to drive at that speed. But that's the same speed as Baron Sim, who is, I'm expecting, going to stop very soon. Best place to stop would be right here, mate. End of the pit lane. That's perfect driving. So that is the perfect place to stop that car because there's something very, very wrong with it.
Oh my. Baron Sim yet again.
Overcommitted. Over-pushed the car.
Yeah.
Didn't make the 300 kilometers because
that's what it looks like.
Attacked too much. Oh, well, it isn't the perfect place, apparently, to park that car. Now, meanwhile, that's Roy Tang, who's back out on track and who is now fighting with Kusi Kanto in 7th and 8th. Got to manage your car. Got to manage your attacking. So we're now going to get down to the pits because Mior is talking to Calvin, the second driver in that number 10 car.
All right, guys, now I'm here together with Kelvin Wong, together with Faris, who's actually down on the tracks right now, car number 10. Kelvin, we literally just saw Faris doing his 10-second, his drive-through penalty. What was that all about?
Yeah, it was the incident where I think he overshoot himself. He has to
Alright.
avoid another car. He went to the grass, and the other car happened to be on the outside, and they touched.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that obviously didn't help you, in the overall championship. The fact that at the start of the race you were in 3rd place overall. Obviously, you have a lot of work to do together with Faris as well for the remainder of the 300-kilometer endurance race. You think you can do that?
Yeah, I think for my stint is just to bring back the car and be consistent in my stint. But I think we just saw the other car had a broke down. So even after the drive-through, we're still in 3rd. Of course, I think I tried my best to get the gap slimmed down towards the second driver.
And what we have seen over here in regards of your team, R Engineering, they have 4 cars down there on the track right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, R Engineering is doing wonders for you as a driver as well.
Yeah, for the team, it's all about the teamwork. Without them, I don't think the car will be at that speed and being able to finish for all the rounds before. So, of course, the team has did a lot of good work.
All right. Okay, good luck to you and to Faris, obviously.
Yeah, thank you.
And we hope to see you on the podium
Yeah,
soon.
thank you.
All right. All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Still a lot of work to be done. And what's interesting there is to point out the R Engineering team itself. I said one of the most successful teams in MCS over the last few years, run by Lai Wee Singh, who will be taking over the wheel of that lead car. But to have this many cars in this many championships, and it's not just MCS either, is a huge achievement, and they do really, really well. So that's just one part of it that you heard, but all of these R Engineering cars are taken care of, I should say. Now, interestingly enough, Leon Koo is now down to 9 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's been great work put in by
Johnny
Jonathan,
Ziyao.
who has even matched him for fastest lap time. There really nothing much separating both of them.
Well, that's what it's all about. All Johnny Z can do is put in fast lap times.
And by Johnny Z being in 2nd place, he's actually helping Roy Teng.
Well, this race is evolving very nicely indeed, and we're going to take a break now. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Pedro Acosta from Red Bull Gachas Tectra MotoGP. Come down to Sepang this November and experience the speed, the thriller, and the excitement for the biggest race in Malaysia. Get your ticket now. I'm ready for Malaysia GP. Are you?
Welcome to the Ultimate Duathlon Challenge at Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Whether you're an elite athlete, a seasoned pro, or an amateur seeking adventure, this event is for you. Experience the thrill of racing on the world-renowned Petronas Sepang International Circuit. It's It's not just about who's the fastest, but the excitement of racing together and forging new sportsmanship. Celebrate your achievements and the bonds you've created. Every finish is a victory. Join us at Petronas Sepang International Circuit for an unforgettable duathlon experience. Register now and be part of the excitement.
Hi, I'm Pedro Acosta from Red Bull Gachas Tectra MotoGP. Come down to Sepang this November and experience the speed, the thriller, and the excitement for the biggest race in Malaysia. Get your ticket now. I'm ready for Malaysia GP. Are you?
Welcome to the Ultimate Duathlon Challenge at Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Whether you're an elite athlete, a seasoned pro, or an amateur seeking adventure, this event is for you. Experience the thrill of racing on the world-renowned Petronas Sepang International Circuit. It's not just about who's the fastest, but the excitement of racing together and forging new sportsmanship. Celebrate your achievements and the bonds you've created. Every finish is a victory. Join us at Petronas Sepang International Circuit for an unforgettable duathlon experience. Register now and be part of the excitement.
Welcome back to the final round of the MCS Malaysia Championship Series 2024 season. As you can see, that is a very important car that is sitting in the pits. Compulsory pit stop, I'm sure, because the pit stop window is now open. We're just about halfway through the race. But that is, I think Fadzal Alang was in that car, so I'm now thinking Lee Kam-sun has got in. But he's going to have a lot to do.
Yeah, that's the first car that came into the pits.
I think the pit window is open.
It is open.
All right, so that is in fact the first. And what's really going to be interesting is, I said, the top three, Leon Koo, Jonathan Z, and Sochi Xiang. When they come in, how they come in. There's Johnny Z. Well, he's actually not supposed to be on that line. Well, for a second I thought that was another Baron Sim. He was in the hard shoulder.
But traditionally, the leaders don't seem to come in till the last few laps or last few minutes.
So many factors will come into play.
It's always a strategy game, right?
The fact that there's only 13 as well means that could even be another significant factor. But that is Lee Kam-soon coming out of pit lane. Now he's up to normal speed, and he's going to be joining this race just ahead of So Chi-siang, and that is Daniel Uy. So being very respectful, he's cleared the line. That's what he has to do. I mean, we don't want another Putra Adam incident, and we certainly don't want people crossing racing lines as we saw earlier. So So Chi-siang did get away with that. There was absolutely no determination from race control.
Yeah, we haven't seen any
Stint
indication
done.
that he's going to be a drive-through penalty or anything of that sort for
Yeah,
him.
got away with that, and lucky, because I said you just don't do that. That was dangerous driving in my view. So Leon Koo still ahead at this point in time, still behind the wheel of that 339 R Engineering car, because we haven't seen him come in yet. 12 seconds ahead of Johnny Z, who is trying his very best to overtake Leon Koo. As we said at the start of the program, there is literally nothing between these teams in terms of the championship standings. And there was just 4 points between R Engineering and Bay Racing team. That's Roy Tang's team. Of course, Roy now pretty much out of the running, I would have thought, in 6th. He would have had to really finish. Well, that's not going very fast,
Yeah, something
is it?
looks up with Jonathan Z's car. It's not going as fast as it should.
Over-pushed it, I told you.
Just look at the front tire, the front right tire.
That's not looking good at all. In fact, he's definitely...
Both the front tires, they look flat. I can tell you that the front right tire is definitely flat.
Overpushed it. There's managing cars over 300 kilometers, but...
Oh my goodness.
So, Johnny Z, once again, plagued by problems. So he's going to have to come in at some point. He should have come in just then to fix that tire, because now he's going to have to go around the entire track again. And as you can see, So Chi-siang and I think that was Putra Adam.
It is. Both the front tires have been shot.
Johnny Z. Why is it that I find myself every year looking at Johnny Z having a problem? So, this may have been where it happened, but this actually looks like it was afterwards. Unlucky. Unlucky. We didn't actually get that, so he is coming in, and at least he's going to get out again. And he has 35 laps of roughly 3 minutes to try and catch up. But now, because of this, Leon Koo is 41 seconds ahead
It's just
of Daniel
cruise control now.
Johnny's out of the car. He's a solo driver.
He is. We haven't seen anyone else.
Is this a toilet break? I mean, what is going on here? I mean, you don't
Could
usually
even
see
be a
them.
toilet break,
Could be,
yeah.
you never know. So it wasn't just the tires. But they're refueling as well. Nobody seems to be having a look at these tires. But it is a compulsory 5-minute stop, so they have plenty of time to do it. So right now, So Chi-siang is doing very well. That is Putra Adam, if I'm right. Yes, it is. That's come through on the inside. So he's now up to 3rd. That's not Putra Adam.
That's Lee Kam-soon.
That's Lee Kam-soon, yeah. Who apparently is 2 laps back. So that is not for
That's
position.
because they were in the pit
Yeah,
earlier.
they were in the pits. So that very early pit stop for Fadzil Alang and Lee Kam-soon may just pay off, because at some point someone else is going to have to, So Chi-siang is going to have to come in for 5 minutes.
Even Roy Tang is currently in pit. So we have 2 of the TP front runners, and Leon Koo. We just saw him get into pit as well.
Look who's turned up in the pits. It's Leon Koo, which means Lai Wei-sing will now take over. And it's only right that the owner and founder of the R Engineering team should be the last driver on the MCS season, in the last MCS race, to take this car home. there's the car. Look at all that smoke coming off the brake discs. That's what you don't see and we don't see in our cars at home because we don't push our cars like that.
Presume there'll be a tire change as well.
There should be.
Tires are definitely bald from all the braking and accelerating.
What should be Lai Wei Sing waiting to come in.
So more cars coming into the pit. Putradam has also pulled up.
Well, it's the best time. If the leaders come in, it is the best time to be out there.
And Baron Sim, Jeev, whom we saw earlier, his status has been a question mark. He's not got out.
Yeah.
Looks like it's race over for him and Kifli Othman.
After just 7 laps, as I said, that is, you know, something they're going to have to look into.
It was ultimately daring driving by Baron Sim to really
Well,
push the limits of that Honda.
It's a bit of a coincidence, is it not, that the two most attacking drivers of Johnny Z and Baron Sim, who were attacking, are now both facing troubles. So this is a lot of cars for this grid. Tires are being changed on that 339 car now. So 6 cars out of 13 or 12, if you take away Baron Sim, in the pits right now.
Just wonder if Jonathan Z is going to take more than 5 minutes. Well, the front door looks to have been shut.
Yeah.
If he can make it within that 5 minutes, you know, he still has a chance.
Well, right now he's got a minute left on his pit. Everybody else has another 4 minutes left. So yeah, there is a good chance that he might have just played this quite well.
What worked for him was that tire issues occurred near the turn 14, so he didn't have to drive an entire lap to get back to pit.
Down on the hydraulics. Well, Lai Wei Sing, absolutely no rookie, I can tell you that. He knows what to do. He's won the touring production title himself. Slowly playing this out. So currently this car has another 2 minutes left on its stop. Johnny Z should be starting up his engine. He's at 440 now. There he is, timing it well so he can get out of the pit lane at just the right time. Now, this is the key crucial part of this race. If Johnny Z can put in some serious time now in this extra 2 minutes that he has over everybody else, then might just be back up in contention again. Wheels are fixed. Car is moving a lot better.
Yep, this race is still alive for him. He's just got to work extra harder now to make up for lost ground.
No, that's it. This lap that he's on, his out lap and the next lap are going to be the 2 crucial laps because as you can see, your opponent, the one that you're gunning for, is doing 0 miles an hour. Roy Tang coming out. Solo driver. Probably took a little bit of a drink, but he's out Bay Racing looking to defend their title aspirations. So it is almost final gambit. There should be another pit stop around the 15th lap, well, 15 laps to go. So he should be moving off now. Leon Koo should be starting up his car. He's at 440.
Well, Jonathan has the entire track to himself at this point, seeing that most of the cars are in garage, so he can really try and get the best lap times.
So that R Engineering Honda is out. Baron Sim also is out.
Great to see Baron Sim coming back out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can stick around afterwards and he can do the extra 7 laps that he's missing. It's a shame when that happens. I said it just takes 1 instance. That's a push. That's not actually technically allowed. Oh, just pushing into position, okay. So, good. Lai Wei Sing now out in that car.
You reckon Baron will take it slightly easier now that he's already had one minor setback?
I don't know. I mean, how many times do you need to get bitten before you stop doing it? It's your last race of the year, you know, why not try it? Johnny Z very much on the inside for no reason. I don't understand why he's taking such an inside line when there's nobody else on track. But here he comes. He's now clocked. Let's see. His last lap was, that was 7:24. So everybody who was in the pits is now pretty much done their 5 minutes. Kusikanto is about to come out. That is Daniel Uy, who is about a minute and a half away from exiting the pit. So slightly different in terms of pit strategies when you've got 13 cars on there. And it's also a 5-minute stop, and you've got another stop coming, so...
Yeah, it's a bit, it's a more leisurely pit stop, I would have to say. You have more time on your hands, perhaps communication with your team as well.
But what it also means is that you really shouldn't mess up. That is Ken Urata's car, back out. William Chong, I'm sure is now going to be in that car.
So the question mark that we saw on Baron Sim's car was perhaps a transponder issue, because it still seems to be showing a question mark. But Baron is already out there.
We do know that.
Or rather,
car is
Kifli
out
Othman. This
there.
could be
Yeah,
Kifli.
that's right. It should be Kifli Othman. While pushing it to the max, that 339 car that's now down to 6, as you can see. That says 2 laps back. So currently, on lap 22, P. Saofan is leading in that 46 car. But the biggest loser so far is Roy Tang.
Yeah, indeed, Roy Tang, setback after setback.
Yeah, not just one. I mean, it's at least 2 or 3 things that have gone wrong.
Currently last TP.
Yeah, that's not, as I said, that's not going to be enough. He's going to lose the championship at this rate.
This is the man that could make the difference, Jonathan Z. If he could somehow try and really catch up to Leon Koo, then Roy Tang may have a shot. If Roy Tang does move up the ranks as well.
He is currently the fastest man on track. 2:27 was his last lap. And that is, I said, up there in terms of the fastest that we've seen. In fact, the fastest we've seen is a 2:31. No, sorry, it's not. It's a 2:25. And that was from Leon Koo. 2:25 is pretty fast. So this would now be Jay Tan behind the wheel of that car.
Yep, replacing So Chi Siang, who was involved in that minor altercation in turn 14.
There's only been a couple, but he was involved in one of them. Completely changed the paintwork on this car in the last couple of years. It used to be silver. But good to see major mark like Mercedes joining MCS. The Honda Civic FD2 was pretty much the car when it was designed and built that sat so well with touring car racing that it was accepted almost globally. But other cars, I said, have come in.
Yep, your
Suzuki's,
Swifts.
yeah, your Jazzes and
Your
stuff like that as
Jazzes.
well. But Mercedes A50, I mean, it's a testament to Mercedes, who don't usually make these kind of cars, touring cars. Especially not small cylinder cars. That's a very famous car in MCS history as well. Used to be the Dr. Mayhem racing team. Keith Hoffman used to drive that car and used to win with that car as well. So now, Roy Tang. I wonder how he's feeling about that solo driver opinion now. It always feels different when you're 22 laps in. Looking on the inside of Daniel Uy. Is that for position? Yes, it is. 9th and 10th, though. Far cry from the 2nd and 3rd they were fighting for.
Yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of getting past the next competitor. In Roy Tang's case, in 10th spot, he can't really be too lofty and try and catch up to Leon Koo. Just take it one car at a time.
We've already seen what happens if you overcommit, if you're too impatient. So the best thing and the only thing he can do for the next 32 laps is try and put in consistently fast lap times.
Just looking at the overall classification, yeah, Leon Koo has a 28-second lead, but it's not too big of a lead considering we still have 32 laps to go.
Well, yeah, it all comes down to those relative lap times. And the relative lap times are Leon Koo right now is on a 2:30. Jonathan Z is on a 2:27. Roy Tang is on a 2:27.
Yeah, I was just about to say, these two guys have been the fastest.
Okay, so 2:20. If Roy Tang is on a 2:27 and Leon Koo is on a 2:30, that's 3 seconds per lap. 3 seconds per lap times 30. There you go, 90 seconds.
And Roy Tang has already swiftly moved up the ranks. He's now in 6th place. He was in 10th not too long ago.
Yeah, that car seems to be firing again. So in terms of his strategy, if it stays like this, then he should catch Leon Koo, well, very quickly actually, if it's only 22 seconds. 22 seconds, 3 seconds a lap. So in the next 7 laps, if everything stayed the same, Roy Tang should catch him and of course go past all of these other people as well. That gives him plenty of time. Johnny Z has put in a 2:28. Leon Koo's on a 2:28, so there's going to be no change there at all. No, this is Roy Tang's race right now. As the sun comes out, wow. I am shocked. I actually saw the sun peek out and reflect. It's quite amazing. It's been a very great day. So, yeah, it's all about that man, that number 68 car. He's the one that's making all the moves right now.
Roy Tang and Jonathan Z are the only two single drivers in the GP. So the dynamics for them is definitely different because for fresh drivers, there's more vigor, there's more enthusiasm. For the likes of Roy and Jonathan, it's all about still maintaining the highest level possible.
Well, he also said something very interesting at the start interview was that if you have a partner, that partner could get a penalty. At least you are responsible for your fate if you're driving solo. Yes, things could go right. Yes, things could go wrong, but it's your fault either way.
Yeah, correct. And it's something that they would have to contend with. Like for instance, Roy Tang having faced that issue earlier in turn 14. Now he couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't his fault, but it's something that he had to contend with on his own. And it's just a matter of having a strong mindset to try and finish this race in the best position possible.
That's the key word, mindset, because it is different from, you know, the usual MCS rounds that are roughly 19 to 20 laps. So essentially that's
it's
already done.
That race would have been done long by now. It doesn't perhaps even give you so much of time to think as compared to 300 kilometers.
It is just very easy to kind of think when you're watching it on TV that you just get in the car and do it. But, you know, they feel every corner, and they feel every second and every minute. That's interesting. Putra Adam to Kusikanto, 41.9 seconds. That's the difference between first and second in SP1. 34 seconds between second and third. So SP1 looks like it is taken care of, because I don't think, and if I have a look, Putra Adam is lapping at touring production speeds, basically.
Kusikanto started the SP1 in blistering fashion. In fact, he won the first
a double win, yeah.
double win in round 1. And he's coming into this weekend with 2 podium finishes as well, 2 third-place finishes in the last 2 races.
Well,
I think we can just conclude that, I mean, summarize for now that Putra Adam is just in a class of his own at this point.
absolutely. Let's put it this way. He's lapping at 2:30. Kusikanto, who is, if I'm right, that car, yes, is lapping at 2:35. So Putra Adam is adding 5 seconds onto that lead every single lap. Now, the best lap that Kusikanto has put in today is a 2:30, which was the last lap of Putra Adam. So, you know, you're talking about people pushing it to the max. He's trying his best, but he's losing 5 seconds every lap. And Putra Adam, I don't know, he might be checking his social media right now in his car, because he never seems to be under any serious pressure. There are people that get into battles, there are people that can defend, and then there are people that just run off and you never see them again.
And Putra Adam's now mixing it up with the TP races. He's in 4th overall. He just left
That's
3
what
other
I
races
mean.
in his wake.
That's what I mean. These cars are completely different. And he is basically running at, you know, touring production speeds, which is really, really impressive. He does it in every single, whether it's Toyota Gazoo, whether it's, you know, whatever championship he's in. And I think he was just in TSS as well.
Yeah, he was.
So, you know, touring production is turbo cars up to 2,000 cc. SP1, the cars up to 2,000 cc without turbos. So he's essentially just decided that his car's got a turbo, and he's, you know, and he's pulling it out. The car seems to respond to it as well. What a talent he is. Plus, it's a 300-kilometer race. So he does have a, you know, he's also one of these solo drivers that's going to be doing it himself, but he wants to push himself to the max you possibly can in terms of winning. And when you look at his results for this year, wins, 3 wins in a row, round 2 and round 3. So basically, it was a second and then 3 wins straight. As I said, in S production, only 2 drivers have won races, and that's him and Kusikanto. Everybody else has finished second or third or fourth. That's
Yeah, he started off in such great fashion. 3 wins in a row. That really set the the class in
the benchmark.
in the
Yeah, that's that. I mean,
SP1.
so SP1 is, in my view, done and dusted. There's unless something happens to Putra Adam's car mechanically, he is going to finish this race probably about a minute ahead of Kusikanto. What's really interesting is these battles now. Roy Tang and Sochi Sang. That is, as you look at the times at the left of your screen, this is for position. There is basically 200th of a second between these 2 cars.
Yeah, Roy Tang doing his best to try and get back up there.
Oh, he's got a lot of time he's got to make
He
up.
just jumped another spot to 5th. So Roy Tang definitely making his way up slowly but surely.
Yep, he's definitely doing that. But if our engineering picks up the 30 points, then he's going to have to pick up the 24 points that is second. And that means that they might just be tied up because there are only 4 points between them. So ideally for Roy Tang, if he wants to win this outright, he has to win it outright.
Yeah, because even finishing in second place will not guarantee him.
Well, if Leon
victory.
Koo wins.
If Leon Koo wins, because the only 4 points that separates both of them.
So it's the one driver that you don't need to win is currently winning. So the only option for him really is if, and we don't wish it in any way, is if something happens to that R engineering car. And I can tell you from experience that that Honda Civic FT2R, that specific one that they're driving, I've seen it break down maybe once in the last 6 years. So if they've kept that car up to its standard, it's a tough proposition for Leon Koo. Now Johnny Z is 29 seconds back. Is lapping a full second faster than Leon Koo.
Yeah, Johnny Z is just been lapping at 227, 228.
Well, he's lapping 3 seconds faster than those two, so he could do it.
And this is the second pit.
Yeah, this would be the second. I'm sure this is. Yes, it is. It actually says there's a couple of other cars that have also come in for their second pits. Well, this car, as I said, is on 19 laps, so it is, it is 7 laps behind. Whatever they're trying or doing, that is near impossible to make up 7 laps in 28 laps. To make up an extra 7 is, if not impossible, near impossible. But as I said, Johnny Z is currently lapping at 228. Roy Tang, who's the man that he would want to beat anyway, I guess, and he is beating him right now, is lapping at 231. And Leon Koo, 1 second. So there are 27 laps to go. Johnny Z is 1 second faster than Leon Koo, which means at the end of this race, if it stays like this, they should meet each other at the finish line.
Well, we're at the halfway stage of the race now. 27 laps done, 27 to go. There's been so many things that have happened already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for the fact that Leon Koo has stayed in the lead from the start.
Well, now it's Lai Wei Sing,
Things at the bottom have changed rapidly.
Our engineering have done a fantastic job. We haven't said enough about it. To lead from start to finish, to make the changeover of drivers as well, and to still come out 29 seconds ahead. Now, so yes, if Johnny Z can add another second to what he's doing. Oh, in fact, no, Lai Wei Sing just put in a 229 as well, so they are doing just enough to foil Johnny Z every time he tries to make a move. So the pit window is open again for second pit stops. That's the overall standing, as you can see. And you can also confirm that Ken Hirata, William Chong, Baron Sim, Kifli Othman all out of the running.
Yep, only one car in pit so far. I think there was Kifli Othman.
So that's the 22 Pro Shop 29 car. Lee comes soon now, after some good steady work from Fadzal Alang. Nicely set up in third spot. 8 seconds ahead of Putra Adam. Actually, that might not be safe. I have to check on that. Putra Adam is lapping at 231. Lee Kam Sun is 232. Yes, so Putra Adam will catch that car in 7 laps if it stays like this.
But yeah, that 22 Pro Shop team for now has consolidated third spot, which they would have taken at the start of this race.
Absolutely, yeah.
It would match their best result posted so far.
They haven't had a great run.
They have not.
So that's Johnny Z coming through turn 15, and that would be Lee Kam-sun behind him. So that is a 4 position. But as you can see, a lot of work needs to be done, and there is that R Engineering car easing its way through turn 5. Overall 1 in class 1, last lap 229, best lap 225. Good stats, really good stats. Couple of back markers for Lai Wei Sing to deal with. Well, as Louis Armstrong said, they have all the time in the world, R Engineering, to come in for the second pit. Everything has gone pretty well for them.
And Leon couldn't have picked a better partner than Lai Wei Sing, like you mentioned.
Well, I think Lai Wei Sing picked Leon Koo as the partner. But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. It's a good
Leon Koo
partnership.
had been in that car throughout the season, and for Lai Wei Sing to come in as one of the most experienced drivers, no one else that you would want to just take home.
He's actually tested out a lot of drivers at R Engineering. In fact, Tawad Anwar was another one that came in and tested out. Said he's had a very quiet season, but he does test out the exact foil or the exact partner that he needs to get the stuff done. I'm actually surprised to see him driving because he hasn't been the regular driver at R Engineering. He's had a lot of drivers underneath him for a good few years, but I think it's because it's the last race. You know, they've had a good season, so see it home.
Well, he could come into pit and hand the wheel back to Leon Koo.
Yep, could do that.
It would be a nice gesture, seeing that Leon Koo had started it and put himself in this position. Either way, it's been smooth sailing for this R Engineering team.
Yeah, no significant problems. As Putra Adam, who is topping SP1, but is also giving TP a good shout. Doesn't matter what car you put him in, it really doesn't. And you can see the differences in times. Like, you know, he's a minute ahead of Kusikanto. I told you he's adding 5 seconds onto that lead every single lap, so he's already a minute ahead now. I mean, I've never seen it as a situation, but if you could get 5 minutes ahead and then go and do your pit, then basically you're not going to lose any time whatsoever.
Yeah, just to give some context, he's a full 20 seconds ahead of Roy Tang, who has been also speeding up, who has been posting a faster lap time with every single lap.
Now, Putradam, just I said, as you just saw there, throws himself into these corners with little regard for braking. Well, all progressing well. Nobody with any serious problems except for Roy Tang, and he's trying his best to try and overtake those. That's Daniel. In fact, no, that should be Danny now. Danny Walker should be behind that wheel. Up to turn 5. Jay Tan. And there is Danny Walker.
It's been quite spread out now, the field, as compared to earlier, which has been predicted as well, seeing that the field is only made up of 13 cars. But even in terms of
happen,
the distance as well, like the distance between the top 2 is 30 seconds, second and third is 22 seconds.
It was always on the cards that this was going to happen. This stage of the race, the second pit window, where you have to really watch your car. as we see ST-powered PTE Limited, that's what they're called now. Well, at this point, they've already done about 168 kilometers.
Yeah, just more than half.
Just over, yeah. Johnny Z's cut that lead down a little bit, 27 seconds now, but not going to be enough based on his lap times. Well, I tell a lie, he's now lapping 2 seconds faster than Leon Ku, which means if he adds 2 seconds per lap, now he's 27 seconds left, so 13 laps from now, if he stays that way, he could catch him up.
Yeah, but he needs to ensure that he continuously laps.
Yeah, at 2:29.
And Livy Singh is no slouch either. Livy Singh has been up there in terms of fastest lap time.
Well, there is going to be a response, obviously, if they see Johnny Z getting faster with this possible future of catching them up in 13 laps, then there is a very real chance that they're going to start pushing it over. He's the only driver right now, Johnny Z, who is under 2:30.
So the fresh tyres have really done him some good.
Everything has done him a lot of good. Would be very tough, though, for him to do it. No, I'm just wondering why everyone else is slowed down to a 2:31. And I mean everyone else. There's the response. 2:29 from our engineering. It's a question of 2 steps forward, 1 step back for Johnny Z. Is he going to come in for a second pit? Nope. So, whatever he tries, there is an equal response.
Johnny was also in the SP2G category yesterday.
There he is, Roy Tang. Bay Racing did well enough to be in top spot coming into this weekend. Just a shame that their luck ran out, and it really did. But is there going to be a twist in the tail? All you can do is keep driving as fast as you can, and then hope something happens to the drivers ahead of you.
For all these 13 cars and their drivers, from 10 laps, which was essentially a sprint race, to 54 laps, that has also got to be a factor.
Yep. No, that's
where
for
they've
sure.
got to race 4 times more and try to maintain that same quality, that same intensity.
I think it's a question, I mean, for the drivers, that's one thing, because you can't control how you act, but I think it's the cars themselves that are going to really feel it. Now, that's a very wide line there. Oh, it's a pit entry, okay. Makes sense with the pit window being open. Look, their windows are actually open as well. And then it's down to 60 kilometers an hour for the pit entrance. So this is Kusikanto, as you said, had a great start to the season. Since then, has dropped off the pace. In for a second stop.
final lap just done. Lai Wei Seng has put in another fast lap.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah, he responded well.
So he's just maintaining that same sort of quality that
Every time,
handed him.
every time Johnny Z goes faster, he's going to go faster for a couple laps, and then he could probably take his foot off the pedal, as I said, manage the car, and he doesn't have to do it for very long.
Is the only car in pit, Kuzi Kanto, so we can see the strategy as well. Not all of them choosing to come in at the same time.
Well, they may have faced up to the fact, you know, as I said, as we're getting into the closing part of the race, that there's only so much you can actually do. But he has had nothing else to do. I mean, not just Lai Wei Seng, but his partner Leon Koo have had so far absolutely great race. It's another car that also went through a massive paint change that used to be blue and gold.
This is where I think experience also comes into play. Like you can sometimes afford to take it easy, and things could go very differently as well. But when you have someone like Lai Wei Seng behind the wheel, you know that you don't take anything for granted. You keep maintaining those fast lap times. You keep ensuring that you maintain that same distance between you and your closest competitor.
Yeah.
If not faster.
Yeah.
That's what the best do, right? Like
I
in
mean,
any sport, your Hamiltons, your Victor Axelsons, they
Yeah.
never take anything for granted in any situation of their respective fields.
Yeah, it's different gears. You have the gear that delivers, the work gear, and you have that extra special gear if you need it. And you know, you shouldn't use that extra special gear unless you really need it. This should be the gear, this work gear, where you get most of your, you know, the raw ingredients of success comes from, as I said, reliability and consistency. Kuzi Kanto still in the pits, and roughly has about another minute left on that stop. Nice in-depth look there as to how they get those wheel nuts on. Each one of those has to be done absolutely perfectly. And I think he's done a pretty good job there. Now off to the back. So that should be Timothy Thomas behind the wheel of that car now.
Piece of fun. Actually finished second in the SP category. This time around,
it's been changes. Things have changed.
There's been a partner change as well for him.
Johnny Z back up to 28 seconds. And again, they've exchanged lap times. He's now lapping at 2:28, and Lai Wei Seng is lapping at 2:29. So you will catch up again, but I'm expecting another 2:29. So, you know, I've said it before, if it's 34 laps, if it's 50 laps, if it's 10 laps, what you want to do is get 70% of those laps at the fastest possible time. What Lai Wei Seng is doing is very smart. Couple of laps fast, couple of laps medium, couple laps fast, couple laps medium, and that's doing enough.
Yeah, he's been in the top 3 in terms of fastest lap time. And
And
that's
that's all you need to do, yeah.
more than enough, because we've not seen that that lead drop anything below 25 seconds. It's been 27 and 30.
Well, it has been wonderful stuff from our engineering. Read the situation well. And are making the difference as they come straight past our commentary box.
And again, we have to mention that what's made this race so smooth sailing so far has also been the conditions.
Yeah, I didn't want to jinx that.
Well, I feel we have to talk about the weather.
I've been staying well away from that because of all the things that have happened.
I don't know, the course of this season, we've always brought in the weather. I thought it was fitting that we speak about the weather in the final race of the season.
The weather has played such a massive, massive part. And I think that if all the races could have been as dry as this, well, you know, these are peak conditions. That's not good. And I was wondering what's happening there as well, having a big look underneath the car for Kusikanto. But that number 25 car, that's Putra Adam with a 30-second penalty. Now, he's a minute ahead, so it's not really going to make a difference right now. But he does not want to be picking up more of those penalties. There's that gruff engine noise. And Kusikanto rejoining the track. The latest lap time update. Well, Johnny Z still marginally faster than Leon Ku at the moment. 3 seconds faster than Lee Kam-sun, so that 29 car is not going to be making any ground into Johnny Z. Trying to look out for other drivers that are currently charging. No, I mean, something has to happen with Johnny Z. He's literally, for the last 5 laps, he's been the only driver that's been under 230. He's been lapping faster than everybody else. Now, that explains why he's come down to 25, but... Oh, that's a big skid out! Kusikanto just got that car fixed. Controlled it really well. We've seen...
A little too excited after getting into pit and coming out.
You're going to wait 5 minutes in there, remember, it's a big stop. But he actually controlled it really well. That turn 6 is notoriously dangerous for cars going off. And I said, if you look here, you'll see it again. Did well, did well, did well, did well. Lost it. And then controls it there. Look at that. That's really good stuff. And was just off track for a couple of seconds, but that was a 3-wheel car for a second, if you saw that.
Yeah, lift off on the rear end.
You do not need to lose traction like that, I can tell you. So that is J-Tan that should be in there. In fact, that might be a change back to... Hold on a minute. No, that's Fadzil Alang. So
Pro Shop team.
That should be... Fadzil Alang should be getting back in that car now, right, for the last 19 laps. Nobody's pushing the sector times, but Johnny Z still lapping at 2:29, being the fastest. The slowest car out there right now is...
Well, it was Kusikanto, but because he was in pit earlier.
Right.
But
So,
Lai Wei Sing has actually now matched Johnny Z in terms of fast lap time.
I think it's it's got to be frustrating for Johnny Z because that's all he has to do.
Well, Johnny Z has actually lapped the fastest now, 2:28, which is why it's just down to below 25.
But that'll just bounce between 25 and 23 or 25.
It doesn't move all that much.
No, he needs something really serious to happen, and he needs it, unfortunately, to happen to that car. So,
in terms of pushing his car, I think he's doing the best, and he's getting the best
That's
out
all
of
you
his
can ask for.
engine. What he needs is now, perhaps for Livestream Singh.
you can say, I'll say it. I'll say it if you're not going to say it. He needs misfortune to happen to our engineering this car. He needs this car to break down. And, you know, as I said, I think we're not making it up. It's the truth. This is what Johnny Z is
He needs
thinking
a
in his
huge
car.
favor from Livestream Singh. It's just putting it mildly.
We're always trying to be so polite in the commentary box, but the fact is that's what they're thinking in these cars. Johnny Z wants
That's
this car
the
to
only
break
way.
down.
Because in terms of driving strategy and skills and
The options are gone.
consistency,
The options are gone, yeah. Yeah, that was, as I said, the only option that he had. Well, 17 laps to go. Car still coming into the pits, and still are all eyes on Johnny Z.
yeah. Well, I can tell you that Jonathan Z has clocked in another fast lap time of 2:28. That brings him to 23 seconds off the pace from Livestream Singh. Still putting in those lap times, still full of optimism.
Certainly hasn't got very much to go now. But such an example of solid engineering, that car. I've said it so many times.
Three seconds with 17 laps to go. Is it doable? As we see, Roy Tang just pulling up for his second pit stop.
Well, now they have to get them. I mean, those are compulsory pit stops. You have to get them out the way as well, or else, I mean, that really is going to mess up your strategy.
Roy Tang has also done really well for himself. He was in 10th.
Considering all the problems that this man has had in trying to seal this title, he has actually done really well. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. If he doesn't beat Leon Koo, it's all over. And Leon Koo is winning. Or, you know, as I said, our engineering is winning. So the title is not coming his way. But again, he can... oh, that's some really fast work they're doing at Black Wolf. They're just running all over the place. Interestingly enough, the fuel intake is inside
the car. Yeah, that's the first time I'm seeing.
Can you imagine if that was like on a normal car? You'd have to actually get out the car. Well, refueling not allowed for all the other races in this round, or in this championship, just for the 300-kilometer race. And of course, it has to be done very, very safely as well.
And Jonathan Z comes in as well.
Well, I guess he's got nothing to lose, really. I mean, maybe he's, figured out that it's just going to be too much. Is he? Yes, he is coming in. I thought that was some kind of drive-through penalty. He's just finding his spot in the pit. But he may have faced the fact with 16 laps to go, and, you're just not cutting in enough. You are cutting into the lead. You're just not cutting in enough. So it's still, if you're looking at the overview, going to be a pretty good end to the season for him. Because he finished the race for one.
Yeah,
he
indeed.
wasn't in the pits for 7 minutes. There's been so many things that have happened to him.
I think as long as he gets that second place finish at the minimum, it will still be a great weekend for him.
Yeah, and that's, I said, you can't do anything if a car is in such great form as the 339 car, then all you can do really is sit back and watch. And, to be honest, that's what the likes of Ken Urata and, all the other cars have had to do. They've had to watch our engineering essentially run this race from start to finish. But there's still 16 laps to go, and now that we're getting into the business end of it, this might very well be the place where reliability and mechanical problems start creeping in.
The question is, when would Lai Wei Sing now come in?
He's got to do 5 minutes. Yeah, everybody else has to do 5 minutes as well. But he's leaving it late. There he is. Don't get me wrong, though. This man, Lai Wei Sing, is an absolute master of race strategy. That's why he runs a team. And that's why that team has been the most successful team in MCS history.
Not choosing to come in just yet.
Nope. He's going to watch everybody else make their pit stops.
In his position, why not?
Exactly.
He can leave it till the last lap to come in, do that 5 minutes, perhaps hand the wheel back to Leon Koo to take it home.
I reckon he's going to leave it. I don't think Leon will drive again. I think Lai Wei Sing is going to love getting out of this car in first position if he can. 15 laps to go at roughly, well, he's lapping at 2:29 now. So Putra Adam has moved into second spot, but is a minute and 16 back. Putra Adam has not done his second stop, so he's safe from him. So Johnny Z still is the only driver that might be able to do something about this. But again, he needs this car to break down. Or he needs this car to have a 7-minute pit stop instead of a 5-minute pit stop. That'll help.
Well, they left it at 23 seconds. That was the lead when Jonathan Z came in earlier.
So he's refueling trucks out. That's William Chong. Might be Ken Rata getting back in that car again now. And that is Daniel Uy that is now back in the Black Wolf car. Would have taken over again from Danny Walker, who did a pretty good stint.
Yeah. Danny Walker was really good. Great lap times. He was matching the top 3, top 4 fastest lap times.
Lai Wei Sing's just put in a 2:29, so he's making the most of this empty track. There's almost a test track for him. Almost like qualifying, really. I mean, he's got nothing. This car has not had to have any kind of battles at all. There is not a single scratch on it because it has just been out by itself.
Not coming in this lap too?
No, not coming in this lap either. So 14 laps to go. So we're going to get down the pits now. Mio is with, as Johnny Z gets back on track, Mio is with Danny from car 777.
Okay, guys, now I'm together with the team of Daniels, actually. We got Danny Walker down together with us. Daniel, rain just went in after you just now finishing your round, at least, for this year's MCS. Mate, how was the conditions out there?
The conditions good. I mean, it's overcast, so it's not as hot, but it's still steamy because the clouds keeping all the moisture in. But the tyres are lasting longer than we thought they would, which is good. And we're happy with the fuel consumption. So we have a few issues with our car. We're losing a bit of boost and missing a little bit in the corners. But the team's just fixed that on the top. And now Daniel's going out for the last stint, and hopefully we can get a good result. We're coming P3 at the moment. We're P3 in the championship, so hopefully we can do one better. But yeah, so it's going to be an exciting finish.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. The fact that before the race you started out at P3 in regards of the championship races, and now do you think you and Daniel have done enough, at least to get that podium spot for the championships, or even better that, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we didn't go too crazy at the start, so we conserved the car when everyone was really going fast. So I think our lap time's looking good now for the finish, and we're looking forward to a really good result at the end of the day.
And for yourself, as you mentioned earlier, this is actually your first participation in MCS. You were around during round 1. Yeah. You were not around during round 2 and round 3, but then you made a comeback down here, finishing in round 4. How has the experience been for you specifically for the Malaysia Championship Series?
Yeah, well, it's hard on the body. You know, you're going a lot faster than I was when we were running the Suzuki Swift. So there's a lot more G's, and but it's really fun. It's really exciting. The drivers are great, and it's a great competition.
All right, love to hear that. We hope to see you on the podium later on.
Great, thanks.
All right, cheers, mate. Guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Great look insight there from Danny Walker as to the amount of intricate details that you have to look out for, losing a bit of boost in the corners. But, you know, every part of this car gets looked at. Now you take all of that analysis and you put it to this car, this 339R engineering car that is just seamless. It's been flawless so far, and it is fully still lapping at 229. Putra Adam can't do anything about that. He's in the pits at the moment. So he's making his second pit stop. When will this car come in? Johnny Z is on his outlap. So this is where the story really begins. Johnny Z is going to start a run. He's done his second pit stop. Putra Adam is doing his pit stop right now. When this car comes in and stops for 5 minutes, that's what Johnny Z's time.
He's got 2 laps more to plan his entry into the pit. That's the most he can push it.
Yeah, I don't think he can take it any further than that. And as I said, if he's 2 laps ahead, and if Johnny Z can just somehow pull out 225s, that would be interesting.
225 would be matching Leon Cruz's fastest lap time.
Yeah,
but it'd have to be 225 all the way through.
Yeah, 225 twice gets him his 5 minutes back from the pit stop, and then they should be right next to each other. But a lot can happen.
Because if Johnny Z could put in 225s consecutively,
He'd
that
do
would
it.
rattle.
That
would rattle the R engineering team. Would give them something to think about at least.
These things don't happen overnight. As soon as you see your competitors running at that speed, then you're going to have to do something about it. Now that is Faris Fauzi with a lot of duct tape up the front of his car. Currently leading S Production 1, of course, because Putra Adam is in the pits. Has Faris done his second stop? Faris Fauzi has done his second stop, yes. This is a challenge for Putra Adam. He's got to come out of here as Faris comes round. Now he's at lap 9. And Putra Adam has another minute odd. Well, you know what? I don't think they've planned this well. I was under the impression that Faris Fauzi had only done 1 stop. But it says he's logged in for 2, and both at 5 minutes 01. So he's perfectly legal. Look who's coming in the pits now.
Finally.
Probably just to say hi. I mean, what are they going to do to this car? I mean, they're going to change the tires, right? That's about it. Give it a little bit of a wipe down. Maybe some waxing and polish as well. very slowly and carefully. Hey, that's too slowly. That is too slow.
You can see
That car stopped.
the race marshal just running. Premature celebrations, perhaps.
What is going on here? Well, Johnny Z must be laughing because that car
Yeah, they're struggling
did not
to-
make it into the pits. Seems you can get around every corner in the track.
It happened just as he got into pit. It seemed to have extremely slowed down.
That is Lai Wei Sing. That's been Leon Koo in that car all along. Oh my Lord. This is an unbelievable situation to happen at 12 because at 12 laps to go, technically that's not allowed anyway, being pushed into your position, but fuel perhaps? They run out of fuel from staying out for too long?
Did Leon Koo just time that machine to get it out of fuel just as he made his way into pit?
That would be
That
amazing.
would be timing it to
That would be
absolute
amazing.
perfection.
Well, this is really interesting now. I mean, we don't know how significant that is.
Because we saw the race marshals,
Yeah.
the team members running to them, hands up on air. It seemed like premature celebration.
I thought, I thought maybe something, But look at Johnny Z. He's pushing himself so much, he's actually off track with under no pressure because he needs to get round as quickly as possible. This is the perfect situation for him. I said something needed to happen to that R Engineering car. Something has happened to that R Engineering car. So this is turn 14.
Yeah, it's now or never for Johnny Z.
Well. Scuba Racing Team.
So now it's really up to the lap times that...
Well, it's not this lap. He's got to go around another lap
once he
after
finishes
this.
his out lap.
But if he does that lap in about 2:30, 2:40, so all eyes on this 17 car. That's the refueling for R Engineering. They're at 2:44, so they've got another good 2 minutes in the pits. This could be very close indeed. He needs to put in a 2:25. You need to put pedal to the metal, Johnny.
This is the most important lap of his race so far.
Of his career, maybe, basically. Johnny, you got to start pedal to the metal right now. Okay.
Tire changes, they're fueling up.
You have to take
nothing out of the ordinary.
The frustrating bit is going to be the waiting at the end of it.
Yeah,
the waiting for the 5 minutes.
But it's nothing that Jonathan Z could even be worried about. He's just got to focus on himself and really try and...
He's got a clear track. He's got
clear mind, clear track.
Clear track.
He has to keep a clear mind and really try and...
Well, sectors might come into this now. Oh, he was fast in Sector 1. He's 31 seconds. He did 31. Johnny Z is burning it. He did a 32 in Sector 2. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, in comparison to the rest.
He's doing, he's definitely pushing
We've
it.
been putting it 33, 34, 35.
So he's throwing that car around. And at the very least, we are going to see at least a race between these two for the last 12 laps. There he is. That looks like turn 10, 11. Cars up. This is the waiting. This is the waiting bit. Johnny Z is racing to get to the start line.
Desperate to make up for lost time.
He'll still have a shot. That's the thing. Even if he doesn't take him at the line. That's turn 14.
But his third sector wasn't that great.
Okay, so Lai Wei Sing should now be leaving the pit lane. He's at 4:51. There he is. And Johnny Z is going to be turning turn 15 right now. There he is. 60 kilometers an hour versus about 120. Oh, that's incredible. Now, I don't know if...
228.
No, it is a 228. That's really good. That's fast enough. And it is on the right lap. I thought for a second he might have to do another lap. That's it. This is the race now. Well, what can Lai Wei-Sing do? 6 seconds behind with 12 seconds to go. 12 laps to go. Johnny Z. Well, well, well. Once again, end of the race. MCS has delivered.
This is what we wanted to see. This is what the drivers are serving up for us.
Well, he had one shot. He had one shot to get in the lead. And when that our engineering car stalled at the pit lane, you just thought perhaps if it hadn't have stalled at the pit lane, then they probably would have come out exactly the same time.
Yeah, we are talking seconds.
Literally 20 seconds max, 15 seconds max. So Putra Adam is still ahead in SP1. So I was right, Faris Fauzi and Calvin Wong, they actually came in to fix their cars, the second one. So this is here, their second official pit stop. So Putra Adam has nothing to worry about. He's going to win this by probably, I don't know, 2 minutes.
Yeah, Putra Adam's time has also been great. 2:29s, that's been his consistent lap times.
I bet if you looked at all of his lap times, it's going to be around there. Well, this is a turn up for our engineering. Now, remember, it wasn't Johnny Z that was ahead of Leon Ku. It was Roy Tang that was ahead of Leon Ku. So this is still going to mean our engineering are going to win the championship. Roy Tang might be in 5th, but that's not going to do him any good. Well, that's the difference. Johnny Z can at least be happy with the fact that he did get in the lead.
Wow. One small
One
slip
tiny,
up
yeah,
in the pit
and that was it.
has now resulted in Lai Wei-Sing playing catch up.
All that good work that was done by Leon Ku. So, this should be Calvin Wong, if I'm right, that's coming out. Comes up in front of Kusi Kanto. And Kusi Kanto is all over that car immediately.
That'd be a great way to end the season for Jonathan Z if he can maintain this lead, the second consecutive victory.
I just hope he doesn't push it too much. He's got a knack of pushing things a bit too much. Well, if you think about it, I mean, we've already seen that he had almost a double flat tire.
Yeah, but that was really, that situation favored him a lot because he was so close to the pit. He came in, he did it within that 5-minute allocated time, got out. Where else? Leon Ku took longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Took about 5.5 minutes.
He's on 2:27 now, Johnny Z, so he's actually getting faster.
Now come to think about it, I think they may have just ran out of fuel as he came into pit, which is why he needed that help to push the car to the...
I've never seen that before.
To pit.
I mean, to run that car to the point where it can't do the last 50 meters. Wow.
Because when I saw his teammates running towards him, it seemed like they were ready to greet him, and only when they reached closer to the car, they realized, oh, we have a problem here. And when they brought out that fuel pump, it was clear that car needed refueling.
It was a huge problem for them.
So was it a case of Leon Koo playing it too late. He should have perhaps come in one lap earlier.
We did say that he was staying out there a very long time for no reason. You know, I mean, there was plenty of options for him to come in earlier.
It's just like your regular Joes who travel every day on the road, and when you see that petrol indicator blinking, you think you can leave it right up till the.
I'm going to be completely honest with you.
till the last few kilometers, and then you start finding for a petrol station.
Completely honest with you. Yesterday, driving home from Sepang Circuit, it went down to 3. I had 3 kilometers left in my car, and I made the same decision. I said, can I go? I did find it in the end, but it got a little bit worrying. I don't have a team of pit mechanics around me. Okay, I was stuck
with
on the highway.
a portable fuel tank to fill you up.
But it did get down to 3.
But it does happen. It does happen on a regular basis.
Happens to these are road cars, the same ones we drive, and the same problems can affect it. Now that's a very interesting situation because that looks like a lot of cars. Let's just see if they're all on the same lap. That is Sochi Sang back in that car. Johnny Z, as you can see, is getting even further away from our engineering now.
Yep. By a second, but in the context of 10 laps to go, that's pretty big.
That is huge. So it looks like right at the death, our engineering have conceded this race, but will take the championship if it stays like this. Now, Roy Tang, who was leading the championship at Bay Racing, who've done very, very well all season, are going to have to settle for 4th in class, which does have points, but is just not enough based on the margins that we have. Bit of a drift there.
Yeah, Roy Tang, since that incident, I think he's done really well given the circumstance from 10th spot.
Well, you know, remember that opening
pit.
laps he was fighting for 2nd. So he's at least stuck in there, but yeah, things just didn't work out for him. There is our recent new leader. That is his counterpart, and I think our engineering, will just settle for 2nd spot. It's such a solid 2nd spot. Why would you give that up just for the extra win when you've already won the championship?
Yep, our engineering will definitely still win the title if they can finish in 2nd place.
Another title, I should say.
Another title.
Yeah, I mean, they've won so many, and especially before the COVID years, they were the #1 team to beat.
It was reminiscent to the MTC yesterday, where we saw Lee Wai Kong and Hayden Haikal lead for most part of the race, but in the end ended up being won by the HMRT team. And it was also, it happened during the pit as well.
Yeah. Oh, I told you, these pit windows are so key. How they play out, what actually happens, what you plan to happen. 11 seconds now, so it was 7 seconds. But Johnny Z, as I've said on a couple of occasions, if you get him in the right position, which is at the front with a clear track, then he is off.
Yeah, he's
off to the races, that's it.
He's been amazing since he came out of the pit, just consecutive 228.
And one 227 as well. So
227, yeah.
That's 2 seconds faster than this car. So how things have changed. Putra Adam, which you'll always know. You see, if you just look at the left of your screen and you see the red bar, if there's one yellow spot on it, that's Putra Adam, because he's just one of these SP1s doing his own thing. He just does not care, Putra Adam, as to what car he's in. He just goes as fast as possibly can. All in all, reliability, which was, of course, the big debate, with 9 laps to go, has actually worked out all right, except for the likes of Baron Sim and Keith Lee Othman, who never got a ride in the end.
Speaking about Keith Lee Othman yesterday and how we wanted to see him being one of the most successful drivers on this circuit as well.
Such a nice guy as well. Well, Kusikanto, I didn't think it, 10 laps back. That was from that huge pit stop that he had.
Started off in great fashion, Kusikanto, but it's all a learning curve. I'm sure he'll come back stronger.
Yeah.
He'll come back with more experience.
So nicely into turn one for Lai Wei-Sing.
And this will set us up nicely for the S1K in 2 months' time. This is actually a prelude of what's to come over 1,000 kilometers.
Right? Yeah, the whole season is basically a prelude to it. And all of these cars, not just from MCS, but some of the MSF cars as well, will be taking part in what is got to be the standout landmark event at the Sepang International Circuit for 4 wheels. Of course, for 2 wheels, it is the Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia. So I suspect, as I said, that's Calvin Wan that is in that car now. But we don't get to find out exactly who's in the car. I said it's what is announced at the start of the race. So they do have the option, the team managers, to change their drivers. It looks like that's what they've done, especially when you get to multiple changes and multiple pit stops. There's another 2:28 from Johnny Z. And that's Soji Seng that is now currently wrapping at 2:35.
So Lai Wei-Sing has lost out more ground since he came out of the pit. That's an additional 4 seconds.
Yeah. I think it's about consolidation. Last thing you want to do is push this car and run into a reliability problem, especially after it just stopped in the pit lane for a very strange reason. I'd be nursing that car.
Yeah, it's all about race management now, isn't it? Just to second place would be enough to hand them the overall title.
Well, that's it. It's about the stages of the race, and you know, you heard Danny Walker just saying it in the interview as well. They didn't push their car when everybody else went very fast, because we saw what happened to the people that did push their car. It's very tempting to go very fast off the start, but that's not what the word endurance means. Unsportsmanlike conduct for this car. And I mean, it's a bit of a harsh one if it's track limits. But saying that, abusing track limits too many times and getting 2 wheels off anything but the gray stuff means that you are technically cheating. So you need to have, you know, that might be a strong word to use, but it is cutting corners. This was, I said, this 46 car, the successful car before our engineering turned up. So it has got history. In fact, I mean, in that, even with MTC, Hi-Rev Dream Chaser are not a new team. They have they've been in and about the top 3 for many, many, many years. So to see them up it and actually dominate this season was a great tonic.
Hayden Haikal was a great addition into the
fantastic signing.
Dream Chaser.
Fantastic signing.
Just assimilated so well coming in from Wing Hit Motorsport.
More troubles for that number 6 car. It's just out. It's 9 laps behind everyone else, and they've got a 30-second penalty. So that's why I'm sure there's a few wry smiles happening in the pits. Johnny Z. I remember when he got his first MCS win. Then, of course, he got his title as well. But he's not going to be getting the title today. But he has done pretty well, and those are good times as well. 2:28 is your last lap. 2:26 is your best lap.
He's been dipping below 2:30s for as long as I can remember.
Constantly now, at least the last 10 laps, I think.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. Middle line entry to turn 15.
I remember his interview, I think it was last year, because he's Singaporean, of course, and having to come here
Yeah.
early
Yeah, that's
to
right.
set up shop with his team. All of it requires so much of effort and planning, just in terms of logistical movement in itself. Requires not just his effort, but a team effort as a whole. And
Yeah.
to do it season in and season out, you can just imagine the sacrifices. But more importantly, I think it's the passion of these drivers.
Yeah. You know, and there is, of course, the basic fact that Singapore has incredible facilities and infrastructure, but it does not have a racing track. And this racing track is one of the best racing tracks in the world. So if it is close enough, that's going to help in terms of that decision. But you're right, there is so much that needs to be done if you're a foreign team, or I mean a non-Malaysian team, in terms of keeping these, because these cars need daily, weekly maintenance. So if you know, I've heard stories before. I remember Leona Chin was telling us a story about how she had a knock-in on one of the corners and actually had to drive out of the track to one of these mechanics around just to go and find parts. It's not easy enough.
And it's not just for this championship that they use the Sepang track as a test ground, as a training ground. Even for the other races that they compete in and around the region as well.
Well, it's a top grade track. It's an F1 grade 1. I mean, those FIA grades are there for a reason. I mean, this is a multi-purpose track. The only thing you can't use this track for is rally driving. And to be honest with you, there is actually a small rally track on the outskirts of the track, but that is just for testing out cars. When it comes down to it, any class of racing car, from touring car all the way up from caterhams all the way up to F1, can use this track and can use this track well. And you know, it's not just about the asphalt. It's not just about the shape of the track. Paddocks, it's about having the infrastructure behind
the
it
entire infra and
to actually
facilities.
pull in all the stuff. Six laps to go now for Johnny Z. Wow. So 5 laps to go now. And this is where people have to be very, very cautious. Now, I don't know if it's a question of, it is. Johnny Z is slowed down. He's now doing 233s. Lai Wei Sing is on 231. He knows that even at this rate, he's not going to catch him. So, worth taking a little bit of pace out of the car for the last 5 laps.
Yeah, Johnny D definitely doesn't want a repeat of what happened in the second race, if I'm not mistaken, where his car just stalled just before the finish line.
He's learned from that. So it's actually, it was Fadzil Alang in that car that was doing the fastest lap of 2:29. That was the last lap. But again, that's not going to cut into the 57 seconds that he is behind Johnny Z.
Just looking down at the field, Baron Sim is 10 laps away.
Yeah, he's really out the running. Only car that's really, really out the running.
The rest of them have been, even Kusikanto has just finished his 40th lap. Right up to Pisau-Fan, Timothy Thomas, the rest of them have pretty much kept pace. It's just Lim Hao Huang, Ken Urata, Kusikanto, Baron Sim, they're all way behind.
I think we've been so focused on these front two that we haven't really had a chance to look at that middle pack of, well, everything under Putra Adam really as SP1 starts. for Putra Adam, this will be a 4th consecutive win out of 6 races. And seeing as how there wasn't a race 2 for round 3, that is an incredible performance by him. There he is in that 25 car.
In fact, all the drivers are now posting slower lap times. It's all about
It's all, yeah.
They don't want to push
the
it.
last thing you want to do is coast over the line with petrol. They're all pushing their petrol limits. They're definitely pushing their tire limits. And of course, there's the general heating of the car as well.
Unless your closest competitor is 3 seconds in front of you, then perhaps it's worth a shot to really go at him. But they're all spread out.
Well, see, Jonathan Z is allowing Lai Wei Sing to come at him. 7 seconds with 4 laps to go. He's going to have to do a lot faster than that, but he's got the chance to put in a fast lap himself if he wants to. This is actually an art form. If you can pull out 229 and then pull out 231 and pull out 229, then you know exactly where you need to be on the track to get those kind of results. And you have to be spot on as well. So as you can see visually how much closer, how tantalizingly close Lai Wei Sing is to winning this and the championship, but he doesn't need to win this. Practicality, hopefully, will triumph over pride. And I think with him, that is the case. I think if, he's a very logical kind of person, Lai Wei Sing, and I think he knows that he's got to bring this car in, and he's got to bring it in well. So it'll probably end up about 5 seconds behind, I would have thought.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Jonathan Z posting another fast lap. Like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
He could just
turn it on when he needs to.
Turn it on and get it to a 229, 228. Seems closer than...
It looks closer.
It looks closer than the 7 seconds.
No. It might just be. I mean, he may have just dropped even more because he's been lapping a lot slower. We'll find out as they cross the line. Four seconds now.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
It's no longer about saving grace and trying to get that car across the line. Now it's about getting that car across the line in first place.
Well, is there going to be a response from Johnny Z to this sudden burst of speed?
Lai Wei Sing really going at it. It's no longer about conservation anymore.
Johnny, there's another problem that's turned up for you here, and that problem is orange and green, and it's in your mirrors.
Because not too long ago, it was 11 seconds, and when it was 11 seconds, I don't think it was much of a concern for John.
Maybe he didn't expect this R Engineering car to have that kind of pull in it.
Yeah.
And so
that could well be the case.
Yeah, so he's kind of like overestimated this, but now there is a chance. So he's now lapping at 232. He is lapping at 229. 4 seconds ahead. So
and he's done that over the last 3 laps, which is why he just shaved off.
So this lap now has to turn up as a 228 for Johnny Z. It has to.
Yeah, Jonathan has to step it up. Has to be much faster.
If he doesn't, then there might be some problems in these last couple of laps.
Because only it was the last 2 laps or 3 laps that he's now gone above 230. We were just speaking about him constantly dipping below 230.
Now, we said that perhaps he slowed down to get to a 231 because he's trying to manage the car. What if he couldn't do faster than 231?
Yeah, perhaps there has been a bit of limitations within the vehicle that in himself that
we'll find out. If it's a limitation, then I said Lai Wei Sing's going to catch him. This is it. This is where we find out if he's it's actually that or not. If he crosses the line when he comes around this corner.
If I was Jonathan Z, I would have a lot of causes for concern now.
You've got the back marker as well.
Because Lai Wei Sing is absolutely charging at it.
You've got, I think that's So Chi Siang. Yes, it is, out in front of them.
And we'll find out how close it is right after this.
2.7 seconds.
So it's another 2
So
seconds
he's
shaved off.
Picking up 2 seconds. And what's more important is that Johnny C still did a 2:31.
Yeah, Jonathan's not going any faster.
There you go. You can actually see it's a great graphic at the bottom that shows you that he is now in trouble. So if we'll give him another chance. If he can do it now, pull in a 2:28, he might just hold him off. If not, Lai Wei Sing will catch him on the last lap.
I think perhaps it is something to do with the vehicle.
Out the way from So Chi Siang, that's well
There is
done.
no reason for Jonathan to be not going faster when he had done so for the best
It
part
would be
of
very odd
25 laps.
if you decided to go slower at the end of the race.
Yeah.
After 2 hours and 40 minutes, you thought, you know what, that's enough. So here we go. 2 laps.
Could
Do
it
not
be
leave.
a tire issue? That was what was plaguing him earlier.
You know, it could be so much.
Yeah,
After 300 kilometers, it could be so much.
So many variables to what could happen.
But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 4 minutes, people. So don't go and get a cup of coffee. Don't leave your seats, because look how close they are now.
He shaved off no time. That's not even 2 seconds anymore.
That is sweat inside Johnny Z's helmet, okay? The man is now looking in his mirrors. He's not, he's definitely not going to be thinking about his clear track. And you can't say he didn't have his chance, because he did. I'm worried because I said I've seen what that R Engineering Civic can do. It wins championships. It wins races. And it is extremely stable.
It looks like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, this is now, it should be 1 second or less as they come round for the last lap.
We couldn't have planned it any better to have both these top rivals going at it in the final lap.
Be honest. You don't see this happening every race in F1.
No.
Okay, this
Not at all.
This happens every race at MCS.
And especially the final weekend. It happened yesterday in the MPC. It's happening today in the TP.
Here we go. It's 0.9 seconds. Can you believe it on the last lap?
From 11 to less than 1 second.
Johnny Z still lapping at 2:31, and Lai Wei Sing is
If you
at
look at the
2:29.
front tire, G, there seems to be an issue with the front tire. I think that's what's been making his car go slower
Well,
in
Johnny,
the last few laps.
Let's see how well you defend, because this is all about defending now. Lai Wei Sing has literally got the bit between his teeth and has the greatest chance to take him. Not here at 5, it's going to be too fast at 5, but 9 and 10.
9 and
definitely.
10 coming into the 2 back
14,
straights.
15, definitely. So that's 3 or 4 opportunities that he's going to have. And if you're 0.9 seconds behind, you've definitely got a chance. It's going to be too far here.
It has to be one of the greatest defense in Jonathan Z's career.
It's also going to be one of the greatest finishes to the 300-kilometer race. Here he comes. This is where he should pull in. That Honda is going to be faster in this section. Right, here we go.
Coming into turn 9.
All about braking now. Leaves it, patiently waits for his opportunity. I'm thinking turn 15 shootout, last 100 meters.
Yeah.
Between the...
It looks like a back straights shootout.
It's certainly, and that's why those back straights were designed. That's a bit wide from Lai Wei Sing. He's lost a bit of time there. Well, this is the classic battle of a hatchback versus a saloon, really, isn't it? No, I don't think he's going to do it. Here we go. That's turn 14.
Now it's now or never.
Don't blow the engine. I think he's done it. I think he's done it. So it was 0.04 yesterday.
Yeah, 0.04 yesterday.
.09.
It could be the the same today as well.
Doesn't bother looking for a different line. Is it going to be flat out on the inside? No, he's done it. 0.9 of a second. Amazing finish. Absolutely amazing. It's 0.8 in the end between them, and you couldn't ask for a better finish than that. What great strategy from Johnny Z and Leon Koo. Of course, congratulations to Johnny Z for winning. Our
What
engineering.
a season it has been for the touring production class. I thought the last race served us all the entertainment, but this race has definitely topped it.
Every MCS race is going to give you something that you won't forget. Absolutely everyone. So, that looks like we got a finisher as well in third. That's So Chi Siang. So finishers coming in fast and furious now.
And here comes Roy Tang.
Oh, you got a feel for Roy.
Yep, started off well.
Really did. Just had too many setbacks in the end.
Mid-race was what undone him.
Yeah, mid-race really did. Wasn't any fault of his own.
Putra Adam just behind him.
And now we'll wait about 10 minutes for the rest of his category to come back in.
Oh, Roy Tang actually finishes in third place. That's amazing. Gets that final podium spot.
He gets it, but it's still not going to be enough, I don't think.
Not going to be enough, but...
It might be close. It might really be close, but I said, well, we'll check on those results. The best place to check on the results is the official website, www.sepangcircuit.com, and that'll take into account, of course, any extra penalties and 30-second delays that may have affected some of the cars.
Well, like we saying here, gave it as good as he got.
Yes.
He really pushed.
I said, if you can scare another driver enough, that's good enough. And he literally scared the living daylights out of Johnny Z in that last lap, and gave us all a fantastic, last couple of laps to watch. But our engineer, I told you, he's absolute master of race strategy. So now everybody's at just under the podium. That's where we are in terms of the commentary box, waiting for Johnny Z to come in.
See all the pit crews and the
yeah, and I think it's that it's that time.
Team personnel.
It's that time of the year where really a big thanks. Well, looking at the final results before we get to that. And there you go, Johnny Z. Wow. 0.8 of a second ahead of our engineering and Lai Wei Sing. Roy Tang with a creditable third. So Chi Siang in fourth. Daniel Uy from Black Wolf in fifth. And Fadzil Alang and Lee Kum Sun in the end in sixth.
And Putra Adam picking up yet another win in the SP category. Faris Fauzi and Calvin Wong take second place. Pisa Fan, Timothy Thomas completing the podium finishes. Lim Yao Huang and Khairul Anwar in fourth. Kanurata, William Chom, not the greatest race, finishing in fifth. Kuzi Countdown in sixth. And Baron Sim and Kifli Othman simply grateful just to finish the race.
And there is Johnny Z. He's going to be one happy man, I can tell you that.
Well, despite not winning the overall championship, he's got to be pleased with his efforts in the last two races, coming tops in both.
That shows, as I said, it's all about progress, not perfection. And to have that upward line, there he is, as happy as always. So I'm expecting a lot from him in S1K. But as you said, S1K is a completely different animal, really, when it comes to trying to get things... Well, trying to get some success. So looking back at what was a fantastic race. First of all, thanks, the weather was fine the whole way. And everybody got off pretty nice and easy, but that car at the front would stay at the front for 99.9% of this race. Big battles all over. This was the only real incident we had, thankfully. Then said that was Baron Sim that managed to control that well at turn 1. And that's the only result of that little shunt. And he gets straight back in it as well. But ultimately, that car wouldn't really come through. Now, no extra rain troubles for any of the mechanics. This was big at turn 15, and that was just one of Roy Tang's problems. Roy Tang leading the championship as he came in. That was the three-wheel car trick from Kusi Kanto, but look at the control to pull that back. All the drivers pushing it in. The pit windows became really critical. That was our engineering coming out just ahead, and this is where this big battle really started between Johnny Z in the 17 car and that 339 our engineering car. Now, at one point, it was something like 12 seconds, but in the end, great race strategy from our engineering meant that they were just 0.8 of a second behind at the checkered flag. That's where it was, which means both 300-kilometer races were ended at the end with less than a second between the top two, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for better finishes over the weekend.
Well, so that brings us to the end of a fantastic season of the Malaysian Championship Series Racing. Nick Arnold, thanks so much for joining me. And of course, I'll be seeing you next year as well, and for S1K. And as for everyone else and all the marshals and the officials, thanks for having a great season. You guys have a good one. We'll catch you next time.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysia Championship Series